Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about NEO. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today I'm going to be doing a video about NEO. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about, is NEO stock going to get delisted? What are my personal thoughts and takes on it? And kind of what we're going to see in the foreseeable future. But I want everybody to know that everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It is just my personal opinion and for educational purposes only. So with that being said, let's get started with the video. So taking a look at NEO, obviously we know that NEO is a Chinese company along with like Alibaba, XPeng, Li Auto, and all these other types of companies. And really the biggest thing that's kind of been circulating is, and basically the fear that's kind of been running around is, are Chinese stocks going to get delisted? Is NEO stock going to get delisted? Now, obviously there is a lot of telltale when it comes to this. I mean, it's been an ongoing talk for years. We know that DD Global actually just delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, but in my opinion, that was a whole completely different story. I'm pretty sure China warned DD not to list in the New York Stock Exchange. But we do know that NEO and 80 other Chinese companies have been added to a delisting list. Obviously, this is playing a huge part on the share price, but and it's scaring a lot of people kind of into Chinese investments because people are kind of deeming them a little bit too risky. We do have good news though. Like I said, aside from the delisting risks, we do have, people like Cathie Wood, George Soros, who are adding to NEO stock. They definitely do see the long-term potential, as so do a lot of investors. But a lot of people are scared to touch stocks like NEO because there's always that constant fear that the stocks are going to get delisted. Now, in my personal opinion, like I said, there's a lot that kind of dives into it. Me personally, I do not think that NEO and other Chinese stocks are going to get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Last time I had read, there's over $200 billion worth of U.S. assets and Chinese stocks along the New York Stock Exchange. So I don't think that they're going to go through all the trouble to actually just go ahead and delist all Chinese companies. But we do know that, China and the U.S. are currently in talks right now about finally working out an audit deal where this gives basically the United States access to, NEO's books and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, what I think about NEO 100% is NEO's accounting firm is actually based in the United States, and it's the #1 accounting firm as well. So I don't really think that, me personally, NEO has to really deal with anything of that sort. Is there always a chance that the stock is going to get delisted? Yes, there is always going to be a chance that Chinese stocks could get delisted. Do I see it more probable though? No, I don't. I don't think that Chinese stocks are going to get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. I'm pretty convinced that the US and China are going to work out a deal. This hasn't stopped me from buying the company. And even when we see the worst case scenario, let's say hypothetically NEO and all other Chinese assets did get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, is that going to stop me from investing my money into it? Absolutely not. For me, I definitely just go based off growth and fundamentals. NEO as a company is growing very strong. It's growing very well. It's expanding like crazy. And we also do know that NEO also has 2 other listings, one in the Singapore Stock Exchange and one in the HK Stock Exchange. Now, we know that the New York Stock Exchange and the Singapore Stock Exchange are interchangeable. So if hypothetically NEO stock did get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, people kind of had this misconception that you automatically lose all your shares. That's not how delisting works. If a stock gets delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, it just transfers over to a different trading platform. I will give you guys an example. I still have money in Luckin Coffee. I bought it around when it was $2 a share. And this was while it was still on the New York Stock Exchange. I had my 2,000 shares and they just got transferred to over the counter, so I still do have access to the shares. I never lost any of my shares or anything like that. So I don't want people to misconcept that, if a stock does get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, that you automatically lose all your shares. Now, that is not me saying that I want NEO to get delisted, because obviously with the New York Stock Exchange, it comes with the most volume and it comes with the most money flowing into it. So I do think that NEO hypothetically would have a harder time kind of hitting new highs and higher highs if it got delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Like I said, if it trades on the HK exchange or the Singapore exchange, there's just not as much volume on those exchanges as there is on the New York Stock Exchange. But like I said, for me personally, I do not see NEO getting delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Like I said, we consistently get updates about, overall about the delisting situation, the delisting FUD. Like I said, we still get periodic updates. And I know we just got an update recently that China and US are definitely still trying to work out a deal. Yes, it's going to take time, but from what I've been reading, they do expect a deal basically earliest by June, but I do think that it could take before the end of the year before we finally do get a dive on whether or not NEO stock is going to get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Like I said, for me, I think there's too much controversy here for NEO and all other Chinese companies to get delisted. I don't think it's going to happen, but this does leave a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and people pouring money into Chinese companies. People are afraid of pouring money just due to the fact of delisting fears, and it's a very probable fear. I mean, I can understand why people wouldn't want to invest in a company that's going to get delisted because, people could think that, companies like NEO or Alibaba and all these other companies are fraudulating their numbers and they're kind of cooking their books. Like I said, China and US both have had their run-in with, fraud numbers and stuff like that. But after the whole Luck and Coffee incident, a lot of people are definitely a lot more skeptical about investing into Chinese assets until there's a definite deal on the plate that shows that, hey, we're not going to delist Chinese assets from the New York Stock Exchange. But like I said, hypothetically, this has not changed my bullish sentiment about the company because the company is still growing, the company is still doing well, and I want people to understand that there's a lot of stocks out there that trade on other platforms and other exchanges that do hit all-time highs and stuff like that. So I don't want people to be afraid to invest in NEO just due to the fact of delisting fears. Just because a stock delists from the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange does not mean that the stock is going to zero. It just means your shares are transferred over to another exchange. And like I said, with the Singapore exchange, this is a huge piece of good news for NEO investors because it does hedge against the fears of delisting. Because like I said, hypothetically, if all of our shares got delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, they're just transferred over to the Singapore Stock Exchange as well. So I don't want people to worry if people are thinking about buying NEO stock, if they should be afraid. If I invest in this company, am I going to lose my shares? Are my shares going to disappear forever? Are the shares going to zero? Am I going to lose all my money? It does not work like that, guys. Like I said, your shares are just transferred over to a different exchange. But to sum up the video, I don't think that they're going to delist Chinese assets. I know it's a big fear that's definitely been running around within the recent months about Chinese companies. But like I said, I know China and the US are working hard on striking a deal on finally getting to the bottom of, letting the US finally be open to auditing Chinese financials. And I think this would definitely be a big step in the right direction as well, because I feel like this would definitely calm the American investor who are sinking money into Chinese assets. But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. You guys let me know down in the comments below, guys, what you think about NEO. Do you guys think NEO is going to get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange? If you guys own NEO stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.